What's going on? I just started and this thing fell down already. Okay. By the way, I'm not like one of those people that believes in like cutting a video every time you mess up when you're filming one, so you're not like Matrix on people. Seriously, man, I don't understand why people do that. It's just like, dude, people make mistakes. If you say the wrong word or you say something wrong, just continue going with it, man. Like, it's so unreal. It's so, like, just fake. You know, all those people, they like film these videos and they're like, and they edit it out because, you know, they said the wrong thing for 10 seconds and they, like, you know, film 10 seconds, you know, like, they're like 10 seconds later version of them, you know, in a different, like, smaller position. I'm totally not one of those people. You know, like, kind of look like a superhero today. Like this, like, weird thing. But, yeah, like, I mean, like, you gotta accept mistakes, man. Like, if you make mistakes, it's no big deal. And, like, you're not letting people know who you truly are doing that, you know? It's like you're editing out the best stuff of you. And the best stuff of you is your flaws, really. I mean, if you really think about it. I mean, that's like, you're such a perfectionist, you want people to think you're perfect. Because you mess up filming a video. That's like so awesome that you messed up filming a video. People want to see that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So, like, I don't edit anything out, you know, like, it's just like, because that's what it is, man. It's about, that's, that's, that's like being vulnerable and that's being real, you know, like, you talk about everything. You talk about everything, man. Like, you talk about things like you don't think anybody's gonna be watching, and they're watching anyways, you know? Well, all three people that watch my videos. Like, seriously. It's kind of sad, too. Because I'm, like, so vulnerable and so raw and so real. With just, like, opening up and talking about everything. And, very truthful. And there's, like, you know, there's great value in that. Just being authentic and truthful and just being real. And we don't really have that much in this world, man. It seems like everybody's so scared. You know what I mean? Like, I would definitely take this face stuff off. But I got a niece that I really, really love. And a nephew as well. And I don't want them to... I don't know, man. Like, all it takes is one person to... you know, see who I really am and maybe respond badly to my niece and my nephew. You know, because, like, eventually they would find out who they were, you know, if they found out who I was. Especially if they were local. Like somebody from Sebastian or something like that. You know, whatever. Um, yeah, so... Oh, just mention what town I was from. Now that I could edit out. Just kidding. I guess I won't. People are gonna find out eventually. And I think I have to kind of stop caring, man, you know? I was just, I'm not gonna be crazy enough to remove the ribbons on my face, though. That's just asking for trouble. The kind of stuff that I talk about. You know, from wanting to kill people to, you know, the drug stuff. Yeah, man. A lot of people get really pissed off about that. So yeah, you know, like, I think I just need to let go, though, you know. I was talking about this other person that I created that's helped me survive, you know. so people would believe that I wasn't mentally ill or borderline or crazy. I never allow myself to be myself. So, doing a THC pill. Cool. Okay. So anyways, yeah. So anyways, I was doing like a THC CBD pill. Sorry, not that could edit now, but I'm not going. And and I was looking in the I was looking at the window. I was thinking about being the person that I created. And I'm like, why am I that guy? Why am I even that guy? And I thought about it. Because I was looking at all like the sports clothes that I have in my room, and I was like, ugh. Like, it really bothered me. It's not who I am. It's like I created him. And I was like, well, why'd you create him? And I said, because he gives me what I want. He helps me survive. And then I thought about, like, well, you're a being, right? Like, you're just this being. Like, I don't know, I'm like extremely spiritual. Like, whether it was like the drugs I've done, or just the schizoaffective, or schizophrenia, or whatever it is. But like I feel myself drifting, getting very lost in this world. Whether it's the present moment, nature. I'm always extremely very connected. And I believe that, I'm one with being. Like I am a being. And that's all that I am. I'm just this being thing. And that's the true self, which is creation, being connected to all things, every ant, everything. And so it's like, okay, so you're this being thing, this creation, existence. Now you know that. So you're thrown into this world. And after studying this world for a very long time, what is the most respected person? Maybe if you really look through the catalogs, the magazines, TV commercials, all these things, what is the most respected being where people see you and they're like, that guy's got his act together? Or, look at that guy's body. He appears really confident. He's very brave. He could slay the dragon. The alpha villager. Be sought after by women. Be looked at as a really good guy whenever you go to a grocery store. Has their act together. Fit, active, healthy. Doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, doesn't get into the bad stuff. That's just bad for the children. And that answer is, it's the person that takes care of themselves. That's healthy, fit. So I've been selling myself as that person since I was 7 years old. When I was 7 years old, I used to get picked on a lot. I used to get beat up by this black kid every day. He was bad. And and I had a super low self-esteem. The only way I got friends is by drawing things for people. And like there was no answer for me, man. Like I was wearing like hand-me-down clothes because we were so poor, and could never afford the Nikes or the really good sneakers. So I'm like, so how am I gonna survive if I'm this poor? Like I got no defense mechanisms, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing that is going to allow me to be accepted by people quickly. So I'm like, well, I could kind of be the artist kid, but I'm probably going to get bullied, and, that shit ain't going to work out. I could be a kid that's afraid to leave the house because that's who I was. And that's the reason why I got good at art, because I was afraid afraid of getting beat up by kids in the neighborhood. I was always very scared of getting beat up by kids in the neighborhood. That was a major issue for me since grade 2 to grade... I don't even know. But it was a big issue, especially in elementary school and middle school. I was pretty much terrified of people. Because I felt weak. I had low self-esteem. And I was kind of scrawny too. And then it just hit me one day, like, if you're fit and you're good at sports, not even necessarily if you were fit, if you were good at sports, regardless of how poor you were, I think eventually people will accept you. People will be friends with you, and more girls will date you. But what I found out was the athletic kids weren't so friendly, and I didn't really make any friends being an athlete anyways. I got more girl friends for sure. Dated 1/3 of the cheerleading team. But I don't know, man. But we always perceive those kids as the shit, the ones that get their act together, like the ones that have their act together, and are seen as like super in the town, or like starting quarterback of the football team, star like volleyball player, soccer player, or more like football stuff, like football quarterback stuff, cheerleader, whatever. And it's like we look up to those people, and there are even like Taylor Swift videos and stuff like that, and we kind of like look up to those people from a very young age. We worship sports so much in this country, sports and drinking, and then of course being fit and being attractive, like physically, sexually appealing to the opposite sex. That also has some merit. So I factored pretty much all this stuff in when I was like 7 years old, because I was so suicidal and I couldn't leave the house because I was so scared of other people. And we were so poor that my mom would come home until like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. So every night I would just, during the weekdays, Monday through Friday, I just sat. We're talking age 6, 7, 8. I would just sit in this shed that we lived in, and I had this huge roll of drawing paper because my uncle was an art teacher, and he always gave me free paper, pens and stuff like that. But he would give me so much paper, and I would just draw and like lose myself and think and like figure out like how my life could improve and like what I was doing wrong and like how could I fix it. And then it occurred to me that I needed to watch SportsCenter, ESPN, get better at sports, typically basketball because it was the easiest to play by myself. You know, didn't have to join a sports team or anything like that. And I joined baseball, but it gave me even lower self-esteem because you feel really bad when, like, you strike out or when you don't perform well for your teammates, and it's really hard. So that even gave me a lower self-esteem playing baseball because the people on my team were not nice. They were not nice people. And I guess the only way for them to be nicer to me maybe would to be a better baseball player, but I didn't have the money or the father to take me to the driving, baseball hitting place, It's amazing, it's amazing how elementary school, middle school, and high school are so difficult. God, it's like all you want to do is be accepted by people. It's so fucking hard, man, and then you take that with you for the rest of your life, Like, my alter ego is still, like, this fitness guy that just wears college football and basketball shirts and like, it's just, it's such a weird fucking creation that I created. And, with my body along with it, I just, like, roll up my, like, sleeves and, like, I just got these insane shoulders, and my body's just, like, my body does not look like somebody of a 42-year-old at all, dude. Like, I could pass as somebody in their, like, late 20s, early 30s. Like, I mean, it's just so tiring, man. It's just like, why am I doing this, man? Like, why am I lifting all these weights? Like, why am I working out, like, 30 to 45 minutes a day? That's to be accepted, It's like, it's to have somebody get you what you want. Because God forbid, you're the mentally ill person that stays at home all the time. And God forbid you're truly who you are, because it might be sad as hell. Because you might not be getting what you want. Or, I don't know, be accepted by the greater population. So, like, we have to choose body armor, I guess you could say, that we put on, and we're like, okay, if I want to survive in this world, this is what I have to put on today. This is like the body armor. And this one will probably be most successful. The fit, athletic person that looks like they have their shit together. That's the most successful body armor. So I'm going to be that person. Because if I was the hippie, which I pretty much am, if I was the hippie, that person wouldn't be accepted when I went into stores. Not as much as the fit, healthy guy looked like he had his shit together. Wearing, like, sports shirts, or, like, colleges on it where people are like, oh yeah, some relatability. They have something to talk to you about. Like, oh yeah, like I'm from like Maryland. How's it going, man? Like, yeah, cool. Yeah, oh yeah, blah blah blah. It's a starting point. It's like a conversation. It's a sales pitch. You're selling yourself. You're thinking, like, how could people like me? How could I be accepted into the tribe? And what can I wear where people will interact with me and, like, actually want to begin conversation with me? And that's what it's all about, and I think, and that's it. That's survival. Like, for surviving the tribe. What other people think about you? What could get you the best grade? What would make your life most convenient, because you're selling yourself. And the better you sell yourself, the more you just feel like, I got these people. You just, I guess the moral of the story is either don't sell yourself, or don't try too hard to sell yourself. You know, like, just find the balance. You know, like, understand that you could work people, but don't give yourself a gimmick or an image. You know, I mean, just, you could still be fit and clean shaven, and you know, just wear a white t-shirt. You don't have to sell yourself. You know, you're just a being anyways. Once you start to develop a gimmick and once you start to sell yourself, that's when you start becoming something. And as the Buddha would always say, like, every time you try to become something, or you have a gimmick, or, like, you know, you're trying to become something, you start to suffer, because that's desire, right? Like, you're desiring to be accepted by people and liked by people, so you could survive in the tribe. So you have to, you know, form this gimmick, and that's desire, that gimmick, because you're desiring all those things. But guess what? We don't really have tribes anymore. So that whole theory falls flat. You know, like, Buddhist theory is correct. Because, you know, say 1,000 years ago, we probably did have tribes. But now we don't have any tribes. So there's no need to impress people anymore. There's no need to be liked by anybody anymore. So that whole survival thing, like, maybe there's no need to survive anymore. You can just be yourself. So just be yourself. And I guess there's no need to sell yourself anymore. It's pretty cool. I like that one. Alright. Have a good day.